Hello all you beautiful people. In this video I'll be covering some more mods coming to console in Baldur's Gate 3's patch 7, which just hit PlayStation 5 and Xbox players recently. Now, we got some extra information here. I'll be going over requirements for making mods available on console because PC and mods on console do have some different restrictions here. So this is a Twitter thread that I was reading through today. So Faces Unlocked potentially will be coming soon to PlayStation 5 and Xbox users, as this is one that I'm getting a ton of comments about. So the face mods are waiting to be approved, so that is really great. But there are some restrictions. So people are saying, can we get this on PlayStation 5? No need to beg me. You just need to ask whoever approves the console versions to move faster. If my main version is approved, there's a vanilla version without edits that's waiting for approval, which will be approved for sure. Just takes them some time to go through everything. Now, I've gotten some comments regarding how long it takes for mods to make its way to console. As once it's posted for PC, like you can see here, we got a bunch of mods here. It does take a little bit of extra time for it to get approved onto console. They have to test it for PlayStation 5 and Xbox due to Sony and Microsoft's restrictions on the mods. So it has to pass through a quality assurance to make sure that it's not going to cause any bugs and glitches that can potentially crash your system. So I've got a lot of people being upset about the delay in mods because there was 69 mods available. Now there's only 68. A little bit unfortunate, but due to the restrictions on some of these things, it can potentially screw up your console. So obviously we don't want that. Now there is a mod that did get removed because it was causing a lot of glitches where people were commenting on my videos where it was just making their loading screens happen and was causing a bunch of problems. The loading screen mods, which I have on my PC, it didn't cause me any issues, but console's a little bit different. So with that, here are some of the restrictions. So mods that won't be available for console include but are not limited to mods that add or remove shaders. So no shader mods. So that kind of makes sense. These typically weren't going to be available outside of like Nexus mods on PC. Mods that increase the amount of nudity or violence that are already present in the game. So obviously not safe for work, not safe for Sony or Microsoft. Mods that fail our internal testing, that's a big one. So obviously there's a lot of testing, but as we could see, some mods that were previously thought to be fine caused some issues for a lot of people, and it was making their systems crash. So that's unfortunate, but yeah, I just want to touch on that. Mods that interfere with the booting of the game or managing mods, so that's another one. If it causes other issues related to that, booting the game, obviously that's not going to make its way. Mods that crash the game, kind of self-explanatory. And the last one here, a big one, mods that include unsupported file size format, so obviously no EXEs that cause some issues, and no DLLs. That's unfortunate because some of my favorite mods, the WDSD movement mod, which is on PC, that won't make its way there, but it's really easy to install if you're using PC. I have guides on my channel on how to install that, as well as the native camera mods, which is where you see my videos where they're right up in the face of characters. That one, unfortunately, will not make its way because it's a DLL file. .pack files are the only files that are available to be added to the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager. So yeah, there's some restrictions there if you made mods. Yeah, there's batches that are being tested, and it has to go through testing, prepared for console, the manual process. The mods typically go live in batches, so keep an eye on the mod browser. There hasn't been any updated since they've previously dropped the 69 mods there. The mod batches can have different testing times depending on the number of mods they're testing and how long they take to test. So that's what we see when we go to look into the mod manager itself. We see a new on the available for console and Mac here, which is not showing up for some reason. There we go. A lot of them are dice mods because obviously this doesn't take too long to test out the skins like this, but in this video I will cover some mods that I think will be coming soon to console and touch on ones that I've gotten a lot of comments about because yeah, there's a lot of restrictions here, but some of the ones that are quicker and easier to test are like the cosmetics, hopefully. Keep an eye on popular mods requested for console creation so we can get them tested soon. I know people have been requesting Larian to drop some mods for certain creators, so don't know if you want to really spam them with that. Obviously, they're doing everything they can to get this live as quickly as possible, but yeah, clothing and armor mods with guidelines in mind will be approved, shouldn't be an issue. External assets, this is another one that I really want to touch on because people have been talking about external assets a lot, and historically Sony hasn't been the most kind to allow external assets because they like to sell DLCs, which Baldur's Gate 3 does not have any of. However, we do see here with the Mystic class, I've touched on this before, these icons aren't in the game itself. These subclass icons also are external assets, so while they may have some restrictions on like armor and weapon mods, potentially, we don't know that for certain yet, it does look like they allow some external assets into the game, which is Clearly a really good point. So I do think we will see much more coming, and yeah, this has already been approved and on PlayStation 5. Tons of people on PlayStation have already been playing with this and talked to me about it, so very hopeful for the future. But yeah, some mods that I do think we'll see very soon is hopefully the Faces of Faerun. This is by Elogia, and this is great. It gives you a bunch of faces that are in the game. It's already in the game. And it's really nice because it just gives the character a bunch more choice when you come to creating your character. Now, the biggest issue is on PC, it does have to have these settings maxed out. So Xbox Series S or X, I can't remember which of the weaker ones it is. The weaker one may have some issues with performance, especially in Act 3. So this may require some extra testing. Now, for people that are upset that mods are taking a while to come to console, blame Microsoft for that. If they would have released one Xbox that didn't have lower standards, like that's the reason for the delay on Xbox initially for Baldur's Gate 3. So that's really on them. Hopefully the next generation of consoles won't have like a one that's kind of a previous gen console holding things down a little bit. But yeah, I really just hope that these will get coming sooner. And also the Faces Unlocked, which that's Karlach's face, really allowing you to add anyone's face to any character. I think this will come soon. Now, a big question I keep getting asked is about a mod that allow you to add differences to like change your origin characters. Now, on PC, there is a mod that allow you to like add changes to Astarion so you can use the magic mirror on your companions. I'm not certain if it'll be available on PC or on console, but I'm hopeful because it is just a simple tweak allowing the characters to use the magic mirror themselves instead of just the player's tab. However, there may be some issues. It may require some different dependencies. So I know the modders are working hard on things like this. I've seen some people talking about that. And I've gotten like 100 comments about changing the origin companions. So I do think that it will come eventually, but it may take a little bit longer. There's a guide on how to publish a mod. So if you're interested in getting into modding, that's available on the Baldur's Gate 3 mod.io page, as well as a full guide on everything modding. So yeah, talking about different hair, beard, different things there. So different assets that are required. But yeah, that's aside the point. We're going to talk about some other mods that I do think will be coming. So Subclass is being one that a lot of people are looking forward to. So there's 3 available now. And I've touched on some previously, like the Nightingale, College of Dance Bard, Arcane Vanguard. Now, I do think we're going to see ones for all classes. I just really want to touch on this again with Havsglint, the Circle of Stars Druid. Incredible. They have some other ones like the Circle of Wildfire, and I think that Havsglint's working on making all their Nexus mods available on console. So this one you can turn into an astral form. They have a bunch of mods, so it's really they've done a really great job on making mods that are available on Nexus mods come to console. So if you're looking into what he's done, we got ourselves like the Wretched Bloodline Sorcerer, the Green Knight Fighter, the Clockwork Soul Sorcerer, the First Vampire Warlock, Inquisition Domain Cleric, Circle of the Blighted Druid, Circle of the Shepherd Druid, Lunar Sorcery Sorcerer, I'm a big fan of that one, Oath of Redemption Paladin, Oath of the Bleak Walker Paladin, College of Spirit Bards, which is cool. You can it's about telling like ghost stories almost. Very fun. The Aberrant Mind Sorcerer, Circle of Storm Chasers Druid, Chronergy Magic Wizard, Circle of the Wildfire Druid, and we also got ourselves a Circle of Stars, which has made its way over to the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager, Swarmkeeper Ranger, the Graviturgy Magic Wizard, and there's a few more here. The Oath of Conquest Paladin, which has made its way over to the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager. So we got 2 of these so far, and then some updated versions of different ones. So yeah, we got a lot of cool ones. I'm excited for like this Wretched Bloodline and Lunar Sorcery, Sorcerers, Green Knight Fighter. I mean, all of these are extremely cool, and shouts out to Havsglint. They're doing a great job of porting these over, but it will obviously take quite a bit of time because this is no small task changing the file type over to the in-game mod manager. But do think that we'll see a lot of that coming soon, so I just want to touch on that as well. Artificer definitely is coming. The creator for this has been in the comments. They even said that they've put forward, and they're the one that actually let me know that it does take about 14 to 20 days, even more, for these mods to get tested and approved for console, especially with something that's a little bit deeper like the Artificer. So it is coming. It's definitely coming, but it may take a little bit of time because of just restrictions regarding that and making sure that it gets approved for Sony and Microsoft players. So again, there's restrictions in place. This isn't Larian's fault. I know a lot of people have been dropping a lot of heat towards Larian. I don't like seeing that because it's not Larian that's you know, having these issues. It's the restrictions on console itself. That's why on PC there's over 1,000 mods already. I could definitely see things like the Ice Monk being added too. This is a cool one, a little AI imagery there, but Shadow Sorcerer as well. These two are definitely going to be coming. Some of them do have some issues, so they do have to pass through that quality assurance to make sure that it does work out properly. Also, the Oakheart Sentinel will be coming. This, again, I've talked about this one a bunch. I love this class. It's really well done, and it's like if you got a martial class version of the Druid, it's just fantastic. Now, some other ones, there is mods that'll add different spells, like this adds better spells for Tempest Cleric and Storm Sorcerer. So, yeah, these giving Lightning Arrow, Chain Lightning, etc. I think that these will come quickly because they're just small tweaks to the spell list. Forgotten Monks, so this gives you the some different options for monks, which is nice. And yeah, I do think a lot of these will make their way. Like the Voidborn Sorcerer, which was asked about. I do have some issues with this. It's still a work in progress, so it may take time before it's fully fleshed out to be able to be on console, but it is definitely coming. Favored Souls, I like this one a lot. I think this will definitely come eventually. This is one of the first ones. Their first upload is on September 10th, so it's very likely to come soon. As from what I've seen, the mods that got added July, August, September have been approved. If we look at the available on console, like these were July-ish. Yeah, July 30th. This one was August 14th. Mystic Expansion, September 5th. So, yeah, the ones that are already available were kind of later, and I do think we'll see some more of these here. But Oath of Love Paladin, I feel like this will come here. It's based on 5th edition, so a lot of 5th edition classes will likely make their way in. And other types of homebrewed classes that just didn't make their way in normally. So for spells, I know a lot of people are talking about spells, so I want to touch on this. This is already available in console secret scrolls. This doesn't add anything new. It's just adding scrolls to the spells that are already in the base game. But I do think that we'll get things like our 5e spells. This is a mod that just continually gets updated. It has a bunch of awesome ones. So we go down here, we'll see our cantrips. It's got like Green Flame Blade, Booming Blade, Thunderclap, Lightning Lure, Gust, Word of Radiance, Stinging, Sapping Sting, Frostbite. Add some different cantrips from the core game to different ones, so like Cleric and Bard. Salune's Dream, which is it's in the game already. Gymnastic Discharge for Wizard and Bard, and Curse of Terror for Bard, Druid, and Warlock. Level 1 spells, Jim's Magic Missile, Catapult, Frost Fingers, Rhymes Ice in higher tiers. It's a level 2 spell. Extort the Risen, Ghoulish Touch, so these are ones that are already in the base game, available to Wizard there. Shadow Blade level 2, this is in the base game. Rhymes Binding Ice, love this spell. I do have a version of this from Nexus Mods. It's really good, but we'll see when this gets available, because it does require a lot of updates to become fully fleshed out, so console players may have to wait a little bit longer for that, unfortunately. The Witch class, I've talked about this one before. The creator is amazing. They've already put in for this to be on console. It's just going through its testing. There's 4 subclasses, and they're really well done. Now, another thing with these mods is they do have to get tested. And every time they have updates, those updates have to get tested by Larian as well. So that may delay things if there's multiple updates. This one has the Herbalist, Frost Witch, Hex Witch, and the Witchblade subclasses. So some pretty great choices there for subclasses. Cheater's Ring, I know a lot of people are asking about this one. This will definitely make its way. So this adds plus 20 to all dice rolls, adds 500 damage to all attacks. Always critical successes, never crit fail, become immune to all damage swords, change all ability scores to 20, and all nearby parties will automatically be washed as if they've used soap at the end of combat, so they don't get blood all over them, which is nice. So the Cheater's Ring definitely will be coming to console. I've had many people ask about that, so I just want to touch on that one. And yeah, there's there's quite a few spell mods that aren't really spells here, but features from D&E 5th edition Planescape, so giving yourself different things like Planar Agent, so you can get some different benefits here, different feats that are available to the base, or to 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, so if you're familiar with that. I do want to touch on race mods as well, because there is quite a few of them. I touched about the Astral Elves, the Genasi mod here, the Shadar Kai, and the Diva, which is really fleshed out and well done. I think a lot of people are asking for the Aasimar. This one will be coming for sure, because they're in-game assets, and there's a lot of them, so I've seen this mod multiple times already, and there's definitely much more coming. So Werewolf background. Now, some people are asking about this. I want to touch on this one because this is a really cool one. So basically it turns you into a werewolf, and you make your allies werewolves. This one has a potion that you can take, and if you have a modded playthrough already, you don't have to start fresh. It'll allow you to just turn into the werewolf itself. Now, there is another mod that gives you a werewolf origin, and I'll touch on the benefits of that because it's really cool. There's also a vampire origin. I know a lot of people are asking about those and wanting me to talk about them, so we'll go about this werewolf origin. So basically, whenever you go to choose your origin as a start, you get the werewolf dark urge, and then this comes with the haunted one background. Werewolf rage passive feature, so you have the beast inside you. You can deal extra damage, and you turn into the werewolf, so you get damage resistances. It's pretty cool. They have this, and then there's also the abilities. There's a bunch of abilities that you level up, so you can choose what your character looks like. It's like the Dark Urge. You get all the benefits without having to, without losing basically what you get as a base character. But you can transform as much as you want and transform back. In werewolf form, you do not have your normal abilities, but you have Werewolf Bite, which deals 1d6 plus level plus strength modifier piercing. When you bite a humanoid, they become a werewolf and have all the powers. Target, so you can turn others into werewolves, pretty fun. Werewolf multi-claw is a multi-attack hit. Werewolf regeneration heals for 1d4 health per turn. As a passive, increased movement speed, so it gets +1 plus level for every level that you go up. Can jump twice normal distance, gain +1 armor class for the armor while you're in this shape. So pretty decent armor class there, and you're a beast. So yeah, this is pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff going on here. You take half damage, you get increased strength, constitution, dexterity, and gain temporary health points. So very well done origin mod. There's also the vampire origin, which I know a lot of people are wondering about, so I'll touch on this one as well. So this gives you the ability to turn into a vampire bat. It's another one that you can pick as an origin. You get the vampire bat, transform into mist like Cazador. You have the vampiric bite, like which Asterion has, and especially the ascended one. So this gives you healing and does piercing damage, and makes them blood loss. So they get a -1 to attack rolls, which is great. And then we're radiant vulnerable, so you take extra damage from radiant and fire, but you're immune to necrotic, so that's pretty nice. And then you can transform into a bat mist. You get dark vision, necrotic damage resistance, proficiency with musical instruments, and this does work out in your favor. Even though it sucks to have a vulnerability to those damage types, you also get the ability to add a few different things to your character. So we'll get into these here. So you can become a Dark Urge if you desire, and slap me to create one origin instead of two. So you don't even have to be the Dark Urge. You can just be a custom vampire. So that's another benefit there, is you got a bunch of freedom of choice. So with this, there's also the Vampire Bite, enemy attack effects, 1d6 for heals, and puts blood loss on enemy, 1 - 1 to attack rolls, ability checks, saving throws. You can bleed people. You get the happy whenever you get blood loss on a target, which gives healing at 1d4 per turn. Carry capacity doubled. Restore from being down in a mist form. There's no health regeneration in mist form, so you can be permanently killed in that form. So once you go down, you turn into mist. Movement speed increased by +3. And then you also have the bat forms, dark meter, dark vision. You get a claw attack, and works with monks unarmed attacks, so you can do extra monk attacks, which is nice. And then also resistance to necrotic and vulnerability to radiant fire. Music instrument proficiency. While in the shadows, you gain advantage on attacks. So anytime that you're in shadows, which is often, you get advantage on attacks, strength checks, and charisma checks, which is huge. At level 2, you get mask of many faces, so free shapeshift. At level and resistance to slashing damage, so you take half from slashing. Level 3, speak with the dead. Level 4, resistance to piercing damage. Level 6, resistance to bludgeoning and take half from bludgeoning attacks. Level 8, you can control a single undead. Level 10, you can summon a wolf companion. So yes, the loss of resistance to fire damage and getting vulnerable to fire and radiant is pretty rough, but lots of benefits there to make this worthwhile. So these will likely both come to console. Just want to touch on those because people have been asking about it quite a bit. Customization mods. This is one that I've talked about. Some people don't like hearing about it. I've gotten the comments loud and clear, but we already have like Faerun Colors hair unlocked. So, or Kay's hair mod, the hair unlocked. Oh yeah, this is on console too. There's likely going to be the Faces of Faerun coming soon. This just gives a bunch of extra face mods. I use a few different ones, which will likely all be coming to console. So you can just stay tuned for that. Lots of great customization mods. And yes, there are some that use external assets, like even if we look at Kay's hair mod, which is on Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager for console already. These hairs are technically external because it's not in the base game. So that gives me hope for lots of customization and hopefully the ability to modify your characters, origin character companions, as a lot of people have been asking for that. I obviously touched on that previously in the video. But yeah, cheat mods as well. pretty much anything you can imagine as far as cheat mods go. I know people are being like, I want to play with a Game Shark, and this will basically be your Game Shark. Although this does turn off any type of achievement, so make sure that you've already gotten your platinum if you're looking for that. But on PC, you can re-enable your achievement, so that is one thing. But there's a lot of great choices there for cheat mods, and just want to touch on that briefly as well. But yeah, I guess that's that for this mod. I'm really hoping the Dread Overlord comes here as well. But there's lots of classes, lots of subclasses that'll definitely be coming to console. So I just want to touch on this because there's a lot, and there's a lot of things coming. So let me know what mods you're most excited for in the comments. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Really appreciate all the support, guys. You guys are the best. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you all in the next video.